Well, hello and welcome to At Home today. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that this has been a very profitable day. Some days you get up and you think, I've got so much to do today and I just know I'm going to get it accomplished. It's going to be a good day. And you get bogged down about halfway through and you think, boy, I'm not getting done everything that I wanted. It's all right. What you got done and what you accomplished, that's good. And it's been a profitable day. If you've just got one thing accomplished that you set out to do, that's good. And I hope you've picked up your children and you've hugged them today and you told them how much you love them and what a blessing they are to your life. They enrich your life and you enrich their lives. And today I want to talk to you about the bountiful goodness of God that we enjoy in this country. Just take a look what's sitting here in front of me on this counter, and I want you to know that harvest time is one of the most beautiful, precious times in all of the year to me. Because when you see this kind of bounty that this country can provide, beautiful, look at these tomatoes, lush tomatoes, just gorgeous. Look at this corn, fresh corn. What can be better than all of the good fruits and vegetables that we enjoy that God allows to grow in this country? And my heart is touched when I think that He doesn't just give us a little bit. God is a God of abundance, and He really shares His abundance through the produce and the fruits. That's something to be thankful for. And if you're a person who says, yeah, but I'd like to enjoy some of these goodies all year long, not just in the fall of the year or in the harvest time, you're right, so would I. So today, we're going to do some canning. And what's some of the most popular things that people like to can and are probably some of the easiest to start out with if you're just a beginner canner? I would say tomatoes. My very special guest, Paige Burgan, is going to be here. Yes, Tim Burgan's wife. She's going to be here. She's quite the canner, and quite the homemaker, quite the mother, and quite the wife. She's going to show us the basics of canning right after this really important at-home hint. We'll see you in just a minute. Here's today's at-home hint from Rita Spence. What to do with overripe bananas, you ask? Peel, wrap, and freeze them. Blend while still frozen into frozen fruit drinks or milkshakes. Delicious.
For updates, pictures, stories, and more, like us on Facebook. To watch hundreds of classic episodes, subscribe to us on YouTube. And to get hundreds of free recipes, visit ctvn.org/athome.
Well, my guest, Paige Burgan, please come and join us. We're really glad that you're here today.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And you've been canning, right?
Yes.
Major canning.
Major canning.
This is a woman you can tell by the hands when they've been canning because
I have no nails.
they're gone, right? Well, I thought this would be interesting to our viewers because many out there feel like canning is something I wouldn't even try. But it is rewarding, isn't it?
Yes, it is. When you get to go out to your garden and get the stuff and know that come December, January, February, you're still going to be eating it. It's
That's right.
Wonderful.
And also when you have like a can of tomatoes that you have planted and you've picked them.
They taste better.
They do. And in December and January, they really taste good. Well, what are you going to make for us today?
Going to make some spaghetti sauce and some salsa.
Now,
Those are my
salsa is something.
family's two favorites.
Yes. Well, everybody's eating salsa. And if you can get all of the ingredients for it now and you can can it, it saves you a lot of money, right? Because I know a jar of salsa is about this big, is like $1.79 to $2.19. And really, it's just tomatoes, onions, peppers, and a little seasoning and stuff. So why not make it, right?
And for our family, we plan on going through at least a jar a week, so I make sure I make at least 52 jars, and then we're
just
set.
to cover it all, right? That's great. Okay, let me get out of the way and just help yourself. She's got some things that she's already done, but she's going to show some basics now on how you can do canning easily. All right.
So I didn't cry and do stuff as I did onions. I did those ahead too.
Okay, good.
First we put, for the spaghetti sauce,
All right.
start off putting some olive oil, about a half a cup.
All right.
In the pot.
Okay, how much is this going to make, first of all?
This will make about 8 quarts of spaghetti sauce.
Okay, and that's the big size quart that we see down here in the front. That is one
7 to
large,
8, yeah.
7 to 8? Okay, let me reach that if I can. This is a large jar. And this would be enough to serve like for a pound of spaghetti, something like that?
We have a family of 4, and I usually use the jar for each meal.
Okay, good.
to that. You
Okay.
get me a spoon. Add 3 to 4 onions that I've chopped up.
Okay. Now, do you have to keep, like you have to cook everything to completion when you can?
Just saute. Yes, you could eat it out of the pot or you could can it. Add some green peppers. This is like 2 green peppers chopped up.
All right.
And if you have kids that don't like the green peppers and onions, just like put them in your blender and puree them and stick them in, and you still have the flavor, but your kids
The
don't
kids
know
don't
that
know.
they're there.
They're not picking them out as they're trying to have dinner, right?
So we saute this just until they're soft. Add some garlic.
Okay, a couple cloves or to taste probably, right?
Yeah, I usually put a lot in. I usually put in like 3 or 4 cloves, and then at the end, if it doesn't taste quite right,
You can adjust
right before
it.
you can it, add some garlic powder
Sure.
if you want some more.
If you want to really enhance it, huh? And that's the easiest way in the world to do your garlic. Just smash it and chop it fine. Now, this is a girl that knows how to use a French chef knife. May I tell you, all the time I use that little paring knife because I don't know how. She obviously does because she cans a lot. And this stuff is there to help you. Why not use it right? Right?
Saute this, get it going, and then you add your squeezed tomatoes. You can do them however you want. Some people like chunks of tomatoes, so you just kind of crush them. Other people like them in a blender. I use this gadget called a squeezo, where you put the tomatoes in the top, crank it, and the puree comes out one side, and the skins and peel come out the other end.
Now we're talking, this is the kind of tomato, your homegrown tomatoes, right? Look at these tomatoes, beautiful.
I usually use these ones for the salsa, and I use the little Roma plums for my spaghetti sauce.
Like, that's that odd shape. In fact, I'll show you.
Kind of pear-shaped.
Pear-shaped, that's right. I have one over here. This, there's different kinds of tomatoes too, and these are the little. This is the little plum size, and then this is the one that everybody gets. Look how pathetic that looks, because it looks anemic. It's not bright, beautiful color. Now hold on here. Look at this nice bright red one. This is a good.
You want to take a bite.
Yeah, you do. You say, "Where's the bagel? Give me the knife. I'm going to cut myself a piece and enjoy." Just a different variety. All have their place, but I think this plum tomato, Italian plum, isn't that what they call it?
Yes.
Italian plum? This is good for this type of thing. Now, what you've added there is, now, how many tomatoes about would that take to do that?
I go by that's a bowl size.
Yeah.
I use my Tupperware. It's 2 that's a bowls, which is probably a half a bushel.
Half a bushel, okay. And what she does, you have to take the peeling, the skin off of this, and you just blanch this in water. Show me how you do it.
Put an X, this knife isn't real sharp, across the bottom.
Okay.
And then I have a little gadget here that takes the
Little
core out real
gadget.
nice.
Look at that. What is that little gadget? That's neat.
It's called a tomato shark. Plop it in here, leave it in there just 30 seconds.
Really?
Pull it out and the peel will just
come
right off.
And then you just squeeze the pulp in. So
if
that's
you
what
want
she's
just squished.
That's what she's added to her tomatoes and her onions. Okay.
Or you can use like a Foley food mill type thing and squeeze the tomatoes through, whatever you want.
All right. Now
I add some sugar. It's to taste.
Huh?
I use about a cup.
All right.
Salt. If you can't use salt, you can replace with like a citric acid type thing. Use a half a teaspoon per quart of sauce.
Oh,
okay. But Tim and I both don't have a problem with salt, so I just.
Now, would you add this to the quart, or would you add it to the?
I would add it to the quart at the very end,
so that it's evenly distributed.
It's evenly distributed.
Okay.
Oregano, about 2 tablespoons.
Now, do you grow your own oregano?
Yeah, that's why I have the little
containers.
containers.
I told you, this is one good homemaker. This girl.
I like to squish it as I put it in. It releases some more of the flavor.
Sure. How long have you been canning?
I canned when I was a little girl doing peaches with my mom and spaghetti sauce. And then since I've been married 11 years, I've been doing spaghetti sauce and salsa. And this is basil.
Basil, okay.
Add about a tablespoon of basil.
Okay.
Something like that.
She and Tim have 2 children, and they're just as sweet as they can be, Amanda and Christopher. Yep. And there's another reason to do all of this, right? Because they enjoy it.
The kids help me a lot. They like squishing the tomatoes. Plop that off. Oh, it's hot.
Hot one.
But you see, it just
pulls right off.
Peels right off whenever you.
You also have asbestos fingers, I've noticed, and that comes with canning.
Yes.
Now, you would let this cook till how long?
Let it cook An hour, 2 hours. Check the thickness,
thickens
see
down,
how
right?
it's doing. If you used more of the round tomatoes and it's runnier sauce, add some tomato paste to thicken it up. That's
Okay.
a cheater way, but let it
Yeah.
go a couple hours and then it's time
Then
for
you-
canning.
Now, could you add meat to that?
Not if you're going to can it. I mean, there are ways to do it, but you have to pressure can whenever you add meat.
So it's a different process than what we're showing you, so don't do it. What about mushrooms? Could you put mushrooms in there?
A little bit, but the more non-acid foods that you add to it, the more citric acid or salt you have to add to bring up the
it.
balance.
I see. And an acid food, you would do this water bath.
Yes.
Because the acidity.
Helps in the preserving process.
Okay,
in the
that's
canning.
all. Okay, so we've got the sauce going. Now let's do the salsa.
Okay. The salsa I do in a crock pot
All right.
overnight, and I add.
You do your tomatoes the same as you do or do you chop them?
I squish them completely.
squish
Those are more pureed. For
Okay.
these, I have the
Ah.
big tomatoes, and I sit and squish them in here, and you can do that if you want.
Oh, thank you. I have to get that off the jewelry because
I use a 3.5 quart crock pot for this, and dump in the 5 onions that I've chopped,
okay. Okay.
3 to 4 green peppers.
Now you gonna have room for all of this in here?
It
Doesn't look
all
like
squishes
it,
down once you get
huh?
to
Okay,
it.
so all I just have to do
And you
is
just
this,
add
huh?
these until.
Okay.
That's my kid's favorite part.
Oh yeah, kids.
Add
I tell you,
jalapenos.
as an adult, it's kind of fun too. Yes. Now those, tell us what you have to do with those.
I use rubber gloves to chop because I have sensitive skin, and if
Yeah.
I touch my mouth or touch my eyes, it burns really bad.
I've spent some uncomfortable evenings because I've done just what you've talked about. So you can get the disposable gloves anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Just get them and do it.
My husband wants me to use habaneros the next time.
Now, what's that?
And they are very spicy. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, jalapenos are a 5 and a habanero is a 10. So that's
Where do
a
you
lot
get
more.
them? Do you grow? You grow them?
I've seen them in the Strip District. I don't grow habaneros. I grow jalapenos and bell peppers and stuff like that.
Ah. So now, how long do you have to let this cook?
Okay,
then?
this stuff, we add the tomatoes, adds,
I feel like a little kid squishing here.
add the spices. I lost my garlic in here. 12 cloves of garlic.
12.
12 cloves.
Is it all chopped
All
fine?
minced.
Oh, okay. Oh, that really is. Woo! That's some strong garlic.
Yeah.
Man. But
what
that
else?
helps, and it's good for you, and it helps to pick up the flavors and give it that tang that you want salsa
With
to
this,
have.
we add some chili powder.
Is that about a tablespoon? Half a tablespoon?
2.5 teaspoons.
Okay.
Thyme, I use about 1.25 teaspoons.
Okay.
And again, people can add more or less of that if they like it. Some sugar.
Just a little bit of sugar there, huh? Because you don't want a sweet taste in salsa.
Right.
I don't know how
And
to say this, Paige, but you know, there's not much in the way of juice here. But as it cooks, it'll juice up. Is that
yeah,
right?
we can add some Worcestershire sauce, 2.5 tablespoons of that.
Okay.
I can never say that word
Me either,
correctly.
so I'm sorry I can't help you there. Now this looks like it's not going to get done, but it will, won't it?
It will. It'll all fit eventually.
Uh-huh.
Smush it in. And voila, a la television.
Yeah, okay.
Here is the finished product of that after it's cooked all night long.
And you would cook this all night long.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Can you see that? I hope they get an overhead shot
If
so
you
you
want
can
it
really
chunky,
appreciate.
you just do it like I did there, and it's
Okay.
a chunky salsa.
Oh, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. That would be a welcome addition to any tortilla chip that I know, believe me. We'll be right back with more about canning in just a minute. Stay tuned. Yeah, you gotta get that.
If you love At Home with Arlene Williams, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of episodes with all your favorite recipes, holidays, and friends.
Say hi to your fan club. Hi, fan club.
And don't forget to click the bell so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
Well, Paige, let's tell them what you did after this cooked for 12 hours. This is the salsa. Then what do you do?
Add 2.5 tablespoons each of flour, red wine vinegar, and any kind of oil. I use canola.
Okay.
Stir it up and turn the heat off.
And turn the heat off. And then this is ready to be canned. And that's what she's going to be showing us now, how we can salsa and spaghetti sauce. All right.
First important
Give us
thing
some basics,
is
yeah.
your jar.
Okay.
You can use, some people use mayonnaise jars. I used them when I first started canning, and they tended to crack too often. So I always recommend people using
The regular
store-bought Mason or
I don't think they're tempered
jars.
like these jars have to be
To be
tempered.
reused.
That's right. And the other thing is really important is you always use a clean, brand new lid.
yes.
You never reuse a lid because the air will get in there and it will contaminate the food, and you will not be able to use it because it will be
Spoiled.
yeah.
And for me, I've used lots of different kinds of lids, and to put a plug in, ball lids
Ball's
really
the best.
work the best.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Check your jars, especially when you're reusing them.
Yeah.
Check the rim, run your finger around it, make sure there's no cracks.
Okay.
Visually look at it and say, okay, that's not cracked, it's a good jar, I can use it.
Okay.
And before you fill them, they have to be sterilized. At home, I do it in the dishwasher.
That's,
Make
yeah,
them
it
out
does
of the
work good.
dishwasher. As long as you leave the dishwasher closed till you're ready to use
Right.
you
It
can
works
do it.
well.
Here,
But if you don't have a dishwasher, you can steam them in or sterilize them in the
boil
canner,
them for
right?
10 minutes in your
You
canner.
amaze me how you do that with your fingers. I mean, she has no gloves on. This is not safety here. But this, I told you, asbestos
This
fingers.
is my safety device here.
Aha.
When you really want to touch the hot jar, though, you use these jar lifters, dump
that's
the water
a good
out,
idea.
and never put a hot jar on a cold surface or
It'll
it'll
crack.
crack. So you put them on a cloth or on a wooden container.
Okay. And would you get all of them out at one time?
You're supposed to get one out at a time. I
Time.
usually get two just for speed's sake.
Okay.
And then this is another nifty gadget. It helps keep your jar rims clean. So you
Because that's the second thing that you have to do.
Yes.
You always have to keep the rim clean or you won't have a perfect seal, right?
Yes. You fill it up. Different things call to be filled different heights. So you check your recipes, whether they're to 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch headspace. How I can tell is where the middle of the rim is. That is like the quarter of an inch.
Right.
And for salsa, that's what
Now,
it is.
how do you know if it expands or not?
Different things expand differently. Like applesauce really expands a lot, so you need to give it like a full 1/2 inch headspace.
So it'd be the
Tomato
whole-
products and jellies and stuff
They
don't
don't.
tend to expand. Then this is a clean cloth. You wipe the rim to make sure
Everything's
that
off.
you didn't spill anything at all. And these lids, it gives you instructions on them how to
Package.
do them, but you put them in water, bring it to a simmer, and then turn it off and keep them in the hot water.
Yeah, because that has to be hot because it's the steam, the heat, and this has to be real hot. The
The
ingredients,
ingredients
have to be hot.
the jars have to be hot, the lids have to be hot. You're careful not to touch the sealing
Inside
element.
part, right.
Set it on there, and then firmly
Oh, you push down in the middle.
That's just to hold it in place. Just
Okay.
firmly tighten. You don't want to really crank it on, but you want it on tight enough
Okay.
to do it.
Now, how do you know when it's sealed?
After you can it, you take it from here,
And you're
put
gonna
it in the water,
Okay.
lower it, put the lid back on. Make sure that the jars are filled with at least a 1/2 inch of water over top to allow for the bubbling
Okay,
to
process,
be covered.
right.
You leave it in there. For salsa, it's 25 minutes,
Okay, and how long is it for spaghetti sauce?
a 1/2 hour.
Okay, so it's a little bit longer for that.
Yeah, because I usually do the spaghetti
quart
sauce in a
jar.
quart jar, so
Sure.
the bigger jar,
You
it
need
has
that
to go
extra
longer.
time. Sure. Okay, so we've done that, and now it has processed salsa for the 20 minutes, 25 minutes, okay? Now what are we going to do?
Pull it up out of the water,
Okay.
set it down again on a cold surface, and you let it sit there. Out of a draft. Make sure, like if you're canning in the early fall and it's a little cool, that there's not a window open blowing on
Okay.
it. Sits there overnight, and as the day's going on, you're going to hear these pop.
Really?
And some of the jars, as the lid sucks down, it pops.
And it seals it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's this little concave, like a little bubble right in the center of the lid. And that
This
means,
this is an applesauce that's sealed.
okay,
you push on
so
that.
that's not there, it's gone. So
not
that
there.
means when the heat and it has sealed, it'll pull the lid down and this little bubble will be gone. It'll be nice and flat like this
And you
one.
touch this one, you hear that pop?
Uh-huh. But you don't on this one.
Right.
Because this one's sealed, this one has not yet. Now, when you make jellies, do you use the same process? Do you have to process them in the hot water bath?
Each jelly is different, but usually if you use one of the store-bought pectins, you don't need to process it. They tell you just to
Yeah.
flip it over and then flip it back, and it sucks down all by itself.
When Paul and I first got married 25 years ago, I made jelly because he used to take grape jelly in his lunch all the time. And we sealed with wax.
That's how my mom always did
Did she? Yeah. Because you would just, when that jelly's there, but what would happen? You'd pour the hot wax in, and it would go down in the middle of the jelly, and then you would have a dickens of a time getting that off and pulling. It was like a plug down in the bottom of the jelly.
I never had that happen.
Yeah, and little bits of wax would be on your teeth because you'd be scraping it off. This is so much easier and safer too, I think. Because I think we really have to be careful that we don't give opportunity for bacteria to form. And I think canning is a wonderful way to preserve the harvest that we enjoy. But boy, it can be a bad trip if it's not done properly and you don't do it well. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. All right, let's do it one more time so we can be sure that folks know just that process one more time. The jars are sterilized in this hot water.
Having a hard time getting
Hard to
this
get one,
out.
huh? Do you use like all the narrow mouth, or do you use some of the wide mouth?
I use whatever I have. The good thing with wide mouth is if you're doing peaches or something, when you want to be able to really work with it, because the narrow mouths are hard to work with. But also if you're really new at it and you're not sure you're going to seal right, if you use wide mouth and it doesn't seal, you can freeze it. And in the wide mouth, as it expands, it won't crack the jar.
And you could get it out of there easy because the mouth is wide, that once it starts to thaw, it can come out. That's very good. All good things to remember, good tips. How many jars would you say that you probably can in the fall? Like, say, one fall.
Last year, I went through 32 dozen lids.
32 dozen?
32 dozen.
Okay, what's my math here? That's like
390
almost? Yeah.
Jars of
oh
stuff.
My goodness.
We can for 3 families. Me and 2 of my friends get together and we can, and we make sure each of us has like 52 jars of spaghetti and sauce, and we also do tomato soup, applesauce, apple butter.
What a wonderful way. That's nice to get a couple of friends together that have children or that are watching their
teenagers watch my babies while we do it.
That's great. That's really good. That's wonderful. Thanks, Paige. That's really good. We'll be right back after this important message on how you can get today's recipes for everything that you've seen and the process for canning. We'll be right back in just a minute. That's good.
To get all the recipes from today's show, plus hundreds of others, just click the link in the video description or visit our website, ctvn.org/at-home.
Well, I hope today that you've enjoyed the program about canning. We've given you basic recipes, basic instructions, and I would like to motivate you just to give it some thought about when this harvest, this bounty comes in, use it to your advantage. And Paige, I want to thank you for sharing your recipes and sharing the hints. And if there was somebody out there that said, I still don't think I can do that, what would you say to them?
Give it a shot. Anybody can do it. Grab a friend to help you.
That's right. And you'll be amazed the feeling of gratification that you get when you see these jars lined up on your counter and you know that it's been the work of your hands in preparation, lovingly preparing them for your family and friends. This is a great gift for Christmas. This is a birthday gift. This is just a friend in the neighborhood. Fix them a nice can of your own special sauce, a pound of spaghetti, and a nice hello. And until we see you next time, be sure to join us. We'll see you then. Oh, that's great.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Fresh produce provided by Jordan Banana, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, PA. Cookware provided by Woolies. Your favorite gourmet deserves the best for less from Woolly Balcony Cookware. Groceries provided by Foodland, where the answer is always yes. Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.